elders now, if they say the same question.
Jess, are you able to go to the...
So,
Alrighty.
I reckon that's great.
Is that...
everyone and their eating.
Sure, put it back a bit. Alright. Okay.
Yeah, I've got a spare chair.
Good.
Can everyone hear?
Yes.
Live chat.
I need to get one of these. I've got one that's like a mattress.
Yeah. So,
Sort of thing
I've
that
got,
folds out
I've
flat.
got loads of them, and they've just been sitting. Well, I've got 4. That's loads to me. And they've been sitting in the carriage. And each time I go out, I think, God, that would be really handy to take them. It's like when we went to the Grand Prix, and we, it's just wandering around. I thought, I think I'd bring my folded chair.
Is that a good view, Jess, you reckon?
Wasn't there a long bag that you brought along?
Give you a little bit lower.
Ah, lower. Because what I'm getting is that it's...
Actually, no, I think it's
Because I'm not... Actually, I'll stand here.
Give me just a second because there's a delay.
And the other was the
That's what I'm looking for.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's right. I might actually move it over because the flags No, this way.
Oh God, that man! Seriously, he's a sick man.
you know, and I feel like
I think maybe... I think that might be better. Okay. Alrighty. Testing. I'm pretty sure that's loud enough.
But in the first,
Oh, that's cool. No worries. Has anyone got the time?
12:35.
12:35. Okay, all right. Okay, I'm going to start this off now. I'm going to try and keep to good time today. Famous last words. Hello and welcome everyone. Thanks so much for coming along to our Speakers Corner Women Will Speak event.
Yay!
My name is Michelle Uriardo, co-founder of Women's Action Group and your MC for today. I'd like to acknowledge that we gather on the unceded lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Gunya Nation, and I pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Fantastic day, by the way. My goodness. Okay, so our purpose today is to offer women a platform to speak openly about the adverse impacts of gender identity ideology, a topic we are prevented from speaking about pretty much anywhere else. Our own state premier, Daniel Andrews, has himself said in Parliament that we are an absolute disgrace for saying women are adult human females, that we are not in keeping with mainstream values. These are quotes, by the way, people. When we say only women can give birth, that we are harmful for seeking to protect children from being medically experimented on, that we are dangerous for petitioning that men should never be housed in women's prisons, that we are hurtful because we dare to say that men in woman face need to get the hell out of all women's spaces, facilities, opportunities and resources.
Yes! And now?
The fact that we women dare to stand up for our rights and protections to be upheld in law apparently needs, this is what he said, to be called out in the strongest possible terms. Speaking the truth is not hateful. And for the sake of the generations to come, we must never capitulate.
No.
All right, so that's my very quick intro. So everyone's that I can tell anyway has been here before, so you know the drill. I call up speakers, raise your hand if you want to speak. I'll get you up to the mic, one at a time, obviously. Women first, men go last. If you want to speak but you don't want to appear on the live stream, just let me know and we'll sort that out. What else have I got? Oh yeah, when you come up to the mic, make sure that you kiss the mic and you project your voice. Yes, we can all hear, who are present today, but the live stream, we need to make sure that everyone watching the live stream can hear clearly as well. And I'm really trying to be on time for a change today, so please be mindful of other speakers waiting their turn. Okay, so with that said, who would like to be the first speaker for today?
Yay.
Woo, woo, woo. Sure.
Mine being whatever order, so.
Very good.
Hi everyone. I'm Lorraine Prattley and I'm a member of the Turban Network, Women's Rights Network Australia, and obviously Women's Action Group. And that was just in the order of the ones I joined. They're all fantastic and amazing and serve different and overlapping purposes. And there are so many other groups that I could be in. Even though I've only been formally involved sort of as an activist for a few months, and so many women sort of paved the way for me to get involved and learn very, very quickly sort of the incredible reach of this issue into so many lives and into so many sort of what we thought were rights that were won. I think I'm really getting a sense now that, it did really floor a lot of people, that whole sort of, the Women Speak event in March in Melbourne, and the repercussions of that over, across the sea to New Zealand. So many people were sort of shocked and dismayed and scared, and some people were demoralised, other people were sort of galvanised into further action. But it definitely was a turning point, and there's this really sort of this undercurrent now of women finding each other, new and old, as activists to the issue, finding each other, connecting, getting organised, and I definitely sense now a growing sense of confidence again to get, and I do believe women are working up to becoming more and more public on this issue, not right now, but fairly soon. And I think that the people that we're pushing against are probably aware of this to some extent, but not to the full extent, and would have good reason to be somewhat concerned. I sort of come from a natural medicine background, so I've got a science background sort of right from school, but I also did an arts degree, but I was able to put maths in there as well, which was good, but also a political activist. And so I've got this sort of foot in both camps. And I think, there's a lot of people are sort of waking up and making connections as to how we're governed in the 21st century. There's a lot of sort of dominating issues in political discussions, or at the political level, about the things that need to change, and they're mostly the way they're being conducted is predicated on corrupted and co-opted science. And I'm not going to go into other areas because they're controversial even amongst this group, but I think I'm really hoping that more and more women, male allies, start making the connections between all of the so-called debates, but they're not really debates anymore, and change is now brought in at the sort of the governance level through lobbying and capture of institutions. So the more that people start making those connections, the stronger we'll be. That said, this issue is such a no-brainer for all the ordinary people out there who aren't politically active, as we get around to, and gradually reach them, it's just such a basic issue. It can't be confusing on a scientific level because it's so basic, the biological difference between men and women, that if we keep going the way we are, we will definitely turn the tide. It's already happening overseas, but, we can't skip certain, the activist sort of stuff that we have to do to win here, but I'm very, very confident. So it's a bit of politics, but just sort of as a little personal thing, we all try to mould our children, right? We all try to give them, pass on morals and try to create the sort of, help them grow up into human beings that we want them to be. And I just thought I'd bring along some books that I've got on the bookshelf from nearly 20 years ago, from what I was reading my kids. So I don't know if you've seen The Paper Bag Princess, where the boyfriend gets, or the prince gets abducted, and then the princess has to be the hero to save him. And Tango Makes Three. It's about the two male penguin dads. That was really awesome. And I had others. These were sort of the best, most popular ones. And The Boy on the Wall is about the Palestinian issue, and it's probably the best one in terms of just the imagination and provoking the imagination to just fly for a young child, of the possibilities. And it's a really wonderful book, and if anyone wants to have a look at it later, please, I'll have them with me. So I thought, oh yes, I was doing that, because thinking of the Drag Queen Story Hour, and these horrendous books that are being read to children, and this is about reality. This is about real stuff, real biology, and stuff that's really happening in the world, and real solidarity that actually is required. But now you've got those books that we've all seen are in the libraries that have left reality, and so I guess I do feel very concerned about that. But I have to say, the books that were most popular with my kids were not the new wokish sort of, or they were becoming woke back then, or the issues that adults want to talk about. They were just the fun, whimsical, imagination kind of, level stuff that appeals to a child. The golden books and all of that, they were the most popular ones. So, leave the kids alone. Yeah, thank you.
Fantastic, thank you very much. Just on what happened in March when Kelly J came here, and I think it was an excellent event that she held on the steps of Parliament. Obviously there was a lot of, can you believe it, drama that followed, to the point that the Greens decided that they wanted to introduce an amendment bill to the Racial and Religious Tolerance Act, whereby, well, actually, we don't even know what is included in this bill, but we know that they're wanting to stifle speech against anyone that speaks against LGBTQI2+. I don't know. I have no idea what the acronyms are now. I've lost track. And that obviously is a very, very big concern. Once we do find out what is involved in that bill, Women's Action Group will obviously be seriously taking issue with it. Anyway, who would like to go next? Come on up.
So I'd like to talk a little bit about puberty blockers. So the drugs that are used to block puberty are also used to block sex hormones in people who have sex hormone receptive cancers, such as prostate cancer. And so we have known for a really long time that these drugs have horrendous side effects, but when you're looking at someone who's at their end of life with cancer, it's an appropriate risk to be taking. They were also used rarely for children with precocious puberty, but in the last 10 or 20 years, even that's started to be rethought and doubted whether the benefits outweigh the negative side effects. So we know a lot about these drugs, and we know that they shouldn't be administered to children. The protocol by which they are administered to children to block puberty in order to back up an imaginary gender identity was developed in the Netherlands, and so it's been known for a while as the Dutch protocol. Well, the Dutch are really rethinking the use of it. Now that it's become more prevalent, they have absolutely undeniable evidence of the harm that it causes to young people. Sweden have now banned the use of puberty blockers in children for the purpose of blocking puberty. Norway, the UK are likely, well, they've rolled it back significantly, and the latest country to join that list is Finland, who have now banned the use of puberty blockers under any circumstances except under a clinical trial, and it's said that no such trial would ever gain ethics approval. So we're rolling it back. We know that they hurt people. We know this. I don't see why it should have got to the point it has now, where we're going to see a small but significant cohort of young people who have been irreversibly damaged. You cannot pause puberty and have it restart. There is a window, and it's essential. And I think an unimpeded puberty is a human right. And to do anything to impede that puberty process, which goes on for a long time, I think really should be considered conversion therapy. You're taking a healthy body and you're converting it unnecessarily into an unhealthy body. So we really, really need to be holding people in Melbourne like Dr. Michelle Telfer to you know, some really hard scrutiny needs to happen, and it needs to happen before any more kids are hurt.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes.
Puberty is not an illness. Who would like to go next? Come on. I'll swap.
Hi everybody, my name's Louise Carrick.
Closer. Oh, closer.
Oh.
Yep.
Hi everybody.
Yeah.
I'm Louise Carrick. I'm going to be reading something that I asked some friends for some input for today, because I'm not really good on expanding on, dot points. So this is from Kate Pointer from Ballarat, and it's a quick rant about inclusion and exclusion. As many of us have seen play out over time, policies designed to foster inclusion can often result in exclusion of others, particularly women. Since the last Speaker's Corner event in May, there have been a number of media reports and incidents that highlight the various ways the concept of inclusion is used to undermine and exclude, even erase, women. Here's a brief look at some of them. Last week, self-identification legislation was passed in Queensland. This legislation ensures that any male with the will to do so can access legal status as a woman, as a female, with a simple stat dec and his claim that he is a woman, as also in here in Victoria. By adopting this regressive and careless policy, the Queensland Government have ensured that men's gender feelings trump women's rights to women-only spaces and resources. This move may potentially impact accurate data collection going forward. Self-ID in law works to undermine the meaning of the words woman and female, words we use to describe ourselves and that pertain to our lived experiences. The inclusion of males into women's single-sex spaces, having access to women's services and resources, has major implications for women and girls. These provisions were created to meet our needs, ensure our privacy, protection, dignity and flourishing. Labor seem completely captured by gender ideology to the extent that the voices and concerns of women are being all but silenced. Over and over again, women and their advocacy groups are actively excluded from conversations about our needs. Next bit. Former banking executive and Olympic swimmer, now CEO of Australian Sports Commission, Kieran Perkins, came out swinging against women's sports for women again this week with his new anti-woman trans inclusion policy. Kieran insists that the inclusion of males into women's sporting competitions and events is progressive, fair and much needed. Piss off, Kieran.
And Ian Thorpe too.
And Ian Thorpe.
Yep.
Women and girls are embodied female. This matters. No woman and no women's sporting competition should ever feel coerced or compelled to adopt any sort of inclusion practice that ensures the exclusion of hard-working female athletes, and that results in a mixed category rather than a women's sporting comp. Kieran reckons that not including transgender people, men, in sport, women's sport, could be an issue of discrimination. At this point, Kate says I have to eye roll. Speaking of discrimination, a reminder that Roxy Tackle is taking Sal Grover to court with a claim of discrimination after he was refused access, excluded from the women-only app Giggle. Roxy's demand to be included on account of his gender identity totally undermines the whole reason for the app. There are many places where males and females can come together to chat and share. Giggle is an app for women. It exists to fill a need that he neither respects or seemingly understands. Please, if you can, seek out Sal's fundraiser. This is going to be an expensive process, but hopefully it'll be worthwhile. UK women have had some success in the courtroom, and we hope to too. Looking overseas for a minute, and the madness of inclusion and exclusion continues. The other day, Johns Hopkins University unveiled their new LGBTQ blah 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 glossary of terms in which they define a lesbian as a non-man attracted to non-men.
Unbelievable.
Good on ya. Needless to say, the backlash was intense. In an attempt to be inclusive, they excluded women entirely. They now claim they've removed that wording. Needless to say, the person behind that shit show was a Tim, trans-identified male. He goes by the name of Paula Neera. Oxfam played along too. A promotional clip for Pride Month. Oxfam included a picture arguably presenting J.K. Rowling wearing the word TERF on her jumper as some sort of anti-trans villain. After intense backlash, the clip was removed from social media and the CEO has announced he is stepping down.
Fuck off.
Women are not putting up with this shit any longer. Back here in Australia, and there's been so much going on, there are so many incidents to choose from and time is limited. Thanks, Kate. The Age newspaper sacked, excluded, one of their long-standing journalists, Julie Zergo. She was asked to write a piece on gender affirmation and the medicalisation of young people. She did so, but was advised that the article she had written was not objective on account of her holding the view that sex and biology matter. The Age would not publish it. Excluded. Julie published the piece on her own Substack account and tweeted The Age were too woke to do so. She was subsequently fired, apparently by text. When asked why she'd spoken up, Julie said that it was the fallout from the Melbourne Let Women Speak rally. She said that women had been vilified and referred to as Nazis by the Premier. She said that no journalist from the left willing to truthfully report on what was happening or hold Andrews to account on his policy positions. In relation to the silencing and so on, she said that this sort of thing was happening in newsrooms everywhere. Regarding the Let Women Speak rally, the Liberal Party's Federal Women's Committee, a peak body representing women in the Liberal Party, have demanded the immediate reinstatement, inclusion, of the Honourable Member Moira Deeming MLC, along with a full apology from the opposition leader, Mr John Pasuto, MP, who oversaw her exclusion from the party. We are yet to see anything come of it. The Australian Press Council have been in the news. This case dates back to 2019 when trans activist Claire Southey and the Rainbow Rights Watch went after the Press Council with numerous complaints, demanding they discipline news outlets who identify people as trans in their crime reporting. Thankfully, after a lengthy battle, the Press Council have held firm this time. They believe that it is not an act of discrimination to mention a person's trans status when reporting crimes. Trans activists like Claire, a trans-identified male, use inclusion and exclusion at will to further their agenda. They don't want trans status included when it comes to reporting horrible crimes being committed. They want that detail excluded. But these are not women's crimes. We don't want anything to do with them, and we do not want these crimes included in our stats. We know that trans rights activists want a convicted trans person's status included, taken into account when it comes to serving time in prison. A Queensland senior psychologist, Dr Gillian Spencer, has been stood down, excluded, after a complaint of transphobia from one of her patients. This incident has raised concern about the gender medicine being provided by the Children's Hospital, along with the freedom to raise issues of concern internally. Some doctors at the hospital have anonymously shared their concerns. Anonymously, how sad is that? Shared their concerns that children are being prescribed hormone treatments after only two consultations, with teenagers being approved for cross-sex hormones, which carry side effects of sterility and loss of sexual function, sometimes at just 14 years old. Also in Queensland, a group of women were kicked out of an event for women for raising a question. The One Woman Project Drinks and Dialogue event was promoted as a night to inspire thoughtful discussion. No, not like that. You'll find video of the debrief on the Stone the Crone YouTube channel. Finally, the Greens. The Greens. The Greens have sacked their own internal disciplinary body after it found Senator Janet Rice should be censured for a calculated... Sorry.
No, she's not.
For a calculated and inflammatory campaign against another party member. In this latest episode of the Greens' internal gender war, hi Sean, the misconduct panel judged that Senator Rice, a prominent trans rights advocate, had harassed long-serving party member Linda Gale because of her conflicting views about sex and gender identity. Rather than act on that finding, the Greens chose to exclude the whole panel. What a joke. Hashtag turf life. Thanks, Kate. Good work.
Yeah, thanks for that, Kate. That was excellent. Okay, who would like to come up next? Yeah, come on.
Hello everyone, I'm Jess. I'm going to be reading a statement out that a lovely woman has sent me. I will introduce her as Gillian Whitefoot, that is a pseudonym. She is a speech and language therapist and clinical risk manager working in the UK and Australia. And she sent this to me because she's unable to say this herself. We are speech pathologists. When we trained, we were taught this was an evidence-based practice profession. That means define your terms, assess, observe, and measure the baseline, use formal and informal assessments to formulate with a diagnosis. Talk to the child and parents about the diagnosis and agree on a therapy plan based on peer-reviewed, published research about what works. We must explain things in a way that clients can understand. We must tell them what their diagnosis is and which therapy we think is best for them and why. We must gain informed consent based on expected goals and outcomes. All of our developmental assessments are based on sex-based language: man, woman, girl, boy, pronouns he, she, and the plural they, them. We are the profession that knows what words mean. It is our job. We cannot assess, define terms, explain likely outcomes, or do therapy if words like man, woman, he, and she are altered to mean they're opposite or conform to an inner gender belief. We cannot do our job, but this is our job. I am devastated at the lack of moral courage and lack of ethics from the leaders in our profession. We cannot assess, we cannot treat, we cannot gain informed consent. Transgender ideology is a lie, and it is making a mockery of the truth, words, and our profession. Stand up and speak up.
Thank you so much. So some people have been asking on the live stream if they can send some speeches in if they can't make our events. The answer is absolutely yes, you can. Jess has put it in the chat. But if you want to send your speech, it's just email it to us at womensactiongroup@mail.com. Okay, so last month we held a raffle. It's our first raffle. We've got a few lined up, a few items to raffle off. And I wanted to present it to the winner. I just want to show first. Yeah, sit down, not yet. It is a beautifully crocheted bag. Actually, I'll just come up to the live stream so you can see the stitching. Do you want me to model it while you talk about it? It's just absolutely fabulous. No, that's good. And of course, it's got a multicoloured strap.
It's beautiful.
Suitable for formal or informal. Our winner is Lorraine. Congratulations. May you enjoy the use. I'll treasure it. Congratulations. So we've got a few more items to raffle off. Coming up, a beautiful shawl. I've seen the progress of it. It is amazing. And a beanie and gloves. So weather appropriate. Okay, who would like to... Yeah, come on in. I didn't even finish that.
Hi everyone, I'm Fiona.
Hello, Fiona.
Hi. I never really know what I'm going to talk about, but I find I get inspired by the speeches before me. And the Kieran Perkins thing, what the fuck? that man, does he not remember when he won in the Olympics? I think it was 2 gold medals.
1990s. Yep.
Yeah, and then the silver in the event where they swim 30 fucking laps.
Yeah.
That was his event. Does he think that's going to be fair between men and women competing against each other?
Yes, he does.
It's exhausting just to watch it. Yeah, like it wasn't even in the women. I don't remember watching women do that event. I think it was just men. Yeah, and that which was at the end of his career because he was like 92, 96, 2000, right? Like most of it was before my time. And Ian Thorpe endorsing this shit.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really disappointed in that. Like, I'm not super into sports, but he was like a personal hero of mine. He was a national treasure. Like, he was Ian Thorpe, like our best Olympian. How fucking dare he?
And gay.
And gay, and copped all the flack about being gay and was hounded to come out and had all of his troubles, and it's just so wrong. It's so disappointing. And, you know, and it's well after they've retired as well. You know, it's really easy for them to sit up high and say this when they don't work anymore with the people that this is going to affect. They're not in sport anymore. How fucking dare they?
Well, they don't give a shit about lesbians.
No. Anyway, that's a bit of an aside. I sort of wanted to talk a bit about so-called trans medicine. I feel like I do go on a bit about, you know, because my background is in health. I'm a nurse, and I'm going to keep saying that I'm a nurse who condemns this. And it's just so bizarre to me. It goes against every oath, every code of conduct, every code of ethics that we and, you know, any healthcare professional has to abide by, because the use of, you know, puberty blockers, wrong sex hormones, and, you know, so-called affirmation surgeries are real procedures and drugs being used to treat an imaginary problem.
Yes.
So there's no indication, there is no rationale, there is no way to achieve the aim, because humans can't change sex. So it is just cosmetic, but it's not, you know, the normal lawful kind of cosmetic surgery. We're not talking about a nose job here. They're actively mutilating and causing harm and producing lifelong consumers. And I can only guess that these surgeons are in it for the money. That's the only way I can think. And we are starting to notice the tide turning back a little bit. I think it was that they're denying insurance now or something to certain doctors who are looking to prescribe this stuff. It's because they're scared of getting sued. It's money. They're getting ahead of themselves because they know that the detransitioners are coming and they're going to come back and say, what the fuck did you do to me?
Exactly.
So before they get sued out of their multiple homes, cars, practices and boats, you know, they're going to sneak away quietly.
Yep.
Any healthcare professional endorsing this, prescribing it, or performing the surgeries should be investigated and struck off.
Yes.
That is where APRA should be focusing their attention, not on policing what we think and what we say and changing their logo to rainbow colours to support pride and whatever else they're fucking doing. Look at what your surgeons are doing under your professional registrations. It's disgusting. Anyway, I can't think of anything else. Thanks.
Fiona with fire. That's who we got today. And for good reason. I think it was the CEO or chair, I don't know, but he was the top dog of that insurance company. Apparently Australia's biggest insurance company for doctors, etc. And he said you can't put a price on regret. And he's right. Okay, so who would like to go next? Yeah, sure. Yeah, okay. This one is off-camera soap. Here. And right there. Okay. Yeah. Don't you back? Here you go. No worries. Do you need me to hold up words?
I might in a moment.
'Cause it's a bit windy.
The first one I don't, but the second one I will be correctly. Thank you. 1, 2.
Yeah.
Is good.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I've got a couple of.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, this was all good.
Yeah, no, that's
A couple of songs to sing. This one is a Greenham song. As Laurie Anderson said, I sing the songs of my people, and this one's one of them. You can't kill the spirit, she is like a mountain, old and strong. She goes on and on and on. You can't kill the spirit, she is like a mountain, old and strong. She goes on and on and on. You can't kill the spirit, she is like a mountain, old and strong. She goes on and on and on. You can't kill the spirit, she is like a mountain, old and strong. She goes on and on and on. You can't kill the spirit, she is like a mountain, old and strong. She goes on and on and on and on. I've repurposed a tune for the occasion. Others have done so before me in a fine tradition.
Thank you.
We're turban together, we shall not be moved. We're turban together, we shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's standing by the waterside, we shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's standing by the waterside, we shall not be moved. We criticize gender, we shall not be moved. We criticize gender, we shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's standing by the waterside, we shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's standing by the waterside, we shall not be moved. Realities behind us, we shall not be moved. Realities behind us, we shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's standing by the waterside, we shall not be moved. Stop puberty blockers, we shall not be moved. Stop puberty blockers, we shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's standing by the waterside, we shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's standing by the waterside. We shall not be moved.
Now we've got two songbirds.
Gonna have a concert in the park.
Going to have to, yeah, that's right, a concert in the park. The album, that's right. Exactly.
I'll get my clarinet.
We'll make it a jam. Okay, what's the time? Has anyone got time?
1:18.
1:18. Okay. Don't have much time left. We have to finish up at 1:30. So, who would like to go next? Come on up. Yeah.
Oh, mate.
Yeah. You put your hand up. You put your hand up. Yeah. Bring anything with you.
I haven't anything particular to say except I want to really thank you for being my Turban sisters. I'm one of those people who's lost friends. Three friends of 30 years, very dear friends. All three of them with PhDs, which tells me something, because they were unable to convert their intelligence to this issue. And the reason that I've lost them is that I will not have in my life women who prioritise men's feelings over women's reality, who will be traitors to us, to themselves, to their own politics, to the lives they spent as feminists, one working in refuge, one working in lesbian history, one working in women's sport. It's unbelievable to me, and I have no regrets, but I am bereft all the same. And I feel like I have, with the Turban Network and with this group and the others, found my tribe. And I am just wanting to express my extreme gratitude to you and my love.
You're most welcome. Everyone's welcome. Okay, who would like to go next?
I'll just say a little something.
Absolutely.
It's on my phone, so it might just take 1 second.
No, that's all right.
Is this my phone?
Talk amongst yourselves while we wait.
I'll just say 1.
Yeah, sure. Come on up.
I just wanted to say to be on the lookout. There's a few different groups in Australia that will be doing some stuff around sports. You know, we got FIFA coming, of course. So yeah, just be on the lookout for that. Women's Rights Network Australia are going to be doing some stuff. I know, say women's sports and some others as well. So that's it. Yep, on Twitter.
Yeah, cool. So it's Women's Rights Network Australia on Twitter?
Yep.
Yeah, good. Okay, just so everyone knows. All right, you right, Lou?
I'm just closed. I think I am. Yes.
All right.
Okay, hi. Yeah, I'm back again. Now this is from Twitter, and it's about trans widows. And it's the comment was, "This is a clinical psychologist. This is why trans widows cannot rely on this profession for help. The man and his feelings surround his fetish are prioritised, even above the children. I'm not shocked by this behaviour from a professional." Now, this professional, Maggie Tulliver, PD, saying you're a trans widow when you're really separated or divorced and your ex can breathe and fart is like saying you're starving to death because you missed brunch. Marriages end, rant, rave, be angry, heartbroken, and then, grow the fuck up. This is from a professional psychologist when talking about trans widows. They have no interest in how this affects family members when it comes to this issue. My children were told by the counsellor they couldn't call their father dad anymore. If that doesn't feel like death, then I don't know what else does. Another one. A therapist I went to with my ex to address cross-dressing behaviours told me I was a lesbian because I was married to a man who had an inner feminine side. She also said that this makes him understand me better. Really? She said I was closed-minded because I wasn't okay with it all. Another one. Families with issues of abuse, addiction, etc. are understood by the therapist, counsellors to need support, and attempts are made to understand how the family is affected. Not our families. We're expected to toe the line, use the pronouns, or be punished. Another one. My kids were punished if they mislaunched a pronoun, threatened to be spanked. Their abuser, female to male, for their father who allowed it, and their father who allowed it was not reported for abuse by their therapist. We all know the therapist was protecting herself from allegations of discrimination. Another one. Children and wives of men performing womanhood have no support. This is Tweet and Maggie's strange obsession. Oh shit, sorry. Oh, sorry, I hit something. Oh, look, it doesn't matter. Trans widows obviously don't get a look in. They're expected to deal with it. We've seen TV programs where women have sort of got to smile along while their creeps of husbands put on their clothes, try to be them, and try to be the star in their families. They're absolutely sickening. Also, what's really pissing me off, like right this second and all other seconds, is the fact that pedophilia is doesn't seem to be a crime anymore. Men seem to think that putting their dick into a child's vagina or bum is okay because the children like it. It's empowering the children, apparently. They're expressing their sexuality. The children. You've got to be kidding me. These disgusting, filthy men should be, in my opinion, they should be killed. They're absolutely vile people. And people who are protecting these people, we know all of this goes on. But now it's coming out in the open, and we're seeing what it's really about. We're seeing that men are emboldened. They think, I read something or other this morning about there's man-boy love. Give me a break. Is it the other way around? Are boys seeking out adult men for sexual pleasure? I don't think so. I think it's all coming from the blokes, the adult blokes. Imagine that. The fellas want to fiddle with the kids. And we're letting it happen. We're letting drag story time ruin all boundaries for our kids. It's in the education department. Little kids already are saying, oh, I don't think I want to be a boy anymore, I want to be a girl. So then everything's piled on the kid. Doesn't get a chance to say, oh, no, that was yesterday. You know, I mean, they're not allowed to change their minds. They're kids, they change their minds. They feel passionate about something for a while, maybe a long time. But the kids that have real problems are being, what's the word when someone uses a group of people with real issues and piggybacks themselves on top of that? Forced teaming. So there are obviously people with real issues around their bodies, real issues with gender dysphoria, right? And it's now, you know, everyone knows what that means. But now the blokes who want to say they're women, they don't have gender dysphoria. God, I think we all just need to continually just say, fuck off, fuck off. I think we need to carry whistles And any bloke that's in any female-only space, especially a toilet, blow the damn whistle as hard as you can. Scream out, "There's a man in the women's toilets!" And really embarrass them and laugh at them because they deserve to be laughed at. How dare they? They can just fuck off. Thank you.
Excellent. Oh, what's the time? Yeah. 1:28. Okay. Hang on. Does anyone else want to speak? Does anyone else want to speak first? Yeah. Come on, Karen. Yep.
I just wanted to show off, actually. I'm being the billboard today, so I just wanted to show off my wonderful scarf that was knitted for me by a wonderful friend. My T-shirt that says "Free to be LGB," get the T out of it, and my two little pins here. I'll come up close to the thing. One is the women's one, and one is a Turf Pride one.
Yay.
Oh, wow.
Yay. Yay. You're well-dressed turf.
Yeah.
So, thank you. I love showing off.
Every turf should be wearing this season.
She's riding high on her 70th birthday party.
Yes.
That's what you just saw. Okay.
Oh, cake.
Does anyone want... Sorry?
Cake.
You've got cake.
We've got cake. If anyone...
If you're the lazy, you can't have that food.
Sorry, on the live stream, you can't have this cake. But anyone here, help themselves to cake if you like. We've probably got time for a little, like a quick spiel if anyone wants to come up and say something. No. Yeah. That's it. I don't know where to go. So it needs to be up a bit higher. Oh, look at that. Yeah, look at that. We have it all at Women's Action Group.
Eat it.
Okay, so...
I read a poem.
Yeah, sure. Come on up.
Very long. I just have to find it.
No, that's all good. We'll probably make...
Find it here. I've read it.
That's all right. No, that's
Making
okay.
everybody jealous. They're like,
Got a poem to finish us. All right.
So we're creative today.
It's been wonderful.
Creative.
Thank you so much to everyone who has come along and to everyone on the live stream. Thank you so much for supporting us.
Yeah, thank you.
15 watching us today.
Yeah, wow. Awesome. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe. Is that right? Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. All right. Come on up. Oh.
Yes.
Of course. Here.
This is a bit of a mixed bag, because this poem, you may have seen it along the way. It was written by ChatGPT. When given a command, write a persuasive Dr. Seuss poem explaining why a trans woman is a man.
That's pretty good.
I see your hair, it is a wig. Your Adam's apple still looks big. You are a man, and that is clear. I do not see a woman here. I must admit, it's rather odd to hear you say you're now abroad. You have no uterus, so no, you cannot bleed from down below. I do not like your padded bra. You should not use the woman's spa. You tell me you had surgery. Your pronouns still are him and he. Your chromosomes are X and Y. That means you'll always be a guy. You gave yourself a girly name. That does not mean you're now a dame. A surgeon chopped your eggs and ham. I still won't call you ma'am, I am.
Lovely.
That is fantastic. Okay. Excuse me, I'm having a little bit of cake. Okay, that wraps things up for today because we have to go off to the cafe. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you to the organising team.
Thank you.
And also, Jess, thank you for being a wonderful moderator on our live stream. And thank you, Lorraine, for winning the raffle. Thank you to everyone who supported us and still continues to support us. Keep an eye out for the emails. Sorry?
Thank you to Lisa from us all.
And thank you to Lisa from us all. And keep an eye out for our emails, those of you who are on our email group, so that you know when to attend our next fantastic Speakers Corner Women Will Speak event. Thank you.
Excellent.